Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hi, I'm Davide, drummer for Bedsore band.
Hello everyone, I'm Giulio, the bass player of Bedsore.
Giulio and Davide, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we start by describing the music of Bedsore? How would you describe your music?
Yes, our music now is basically 70s progressive uh, rock blended with death metal and some kind of black metal with some hints on cinematic uh, um, cinematic ideas and cinematic landscapes. With yeah, I'd say it's a melting pot of musical genres.
Davide, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, we are trying with this album in particular. We are trying um, to reach a sort of new depth in the music expression of Bedsore. We are trying to mix all the influences of our we four of the four of us as a single musicians. In fact, I think you can clearly understand the strong influence from the 70s rock music, from the most of it from the Italian scene, like Giulio already said. And for example, by my side, I added a lot of. I tried to be more on group stuff, even though I played some heavy metal and that groups or feel. But this time we wanted to give not only an aggressive feeling in this album, but and with this new music, but we wanted to express a sort of travel from the that analyzes all the sides of the human being, let's say so, of the travel you have to do to reach a sort of interior peace and let's say satisfaction in a way. I don't know if you can relate to this.
Yeah, sure. Uh,
Nice.
so I've done a few Q&A interviews with Bedsore. Your bandmate Jacopo answered two written Q&As, one in 2020 when the first album came out, and one in 2022 when you guys did a split with the Japanese band Mortal
Yeah.
Incarnation. Uh, so people listening to this can go to the Dreams of Consciousness website and see those interviews. Check out those interviews. Can you guys tell me a little bit how you became involved with Bedsore? You started as live musicians, right?
Yeah.
Yes, in the 2018 and 2019, after the releasing the first demo, the very first demo, that contains two songs from the first album, we got involved as live musicians, and then we became official members of Bedsore in 2019, 2020, with the recordings of hypnagogic hallucinations.
Yeah. At the beginning, we were like real sessions, let's say so, because we had the Jacopo and Stefano being the the mind of the band, the creative mind. But with the passing of time, even though we were involved mostly in the live part of the band of the life of the band, we started to add some influences, our personal influences. So with the passing of time, Jacopo and Stefano saw that uh, in a sort of way we could be really good additions to their way of interpreting of their interpretation to the music. So step by step, we became we a really important a really important part of the Bedsore machine, let's say so, of the Bedsore engine. So after the first years of live of live sessions, musicians, let's say so, we became active part of the band. So and we're still contributing a lot to the development and to the music, especially in this new album. We had a lot of let's say so, space to work with our ideas and to blend that ideas with Jacopo and Stefano ones.
So when I did the Q&A a few years ago, the process of writing songs started with Jacopo and Stefano, and you guys came in a little bit later. Is it still mostly the same way?
It's a little bit different because uh, I mean this whole album has been thought in a different way compared to the previous ones.
Yeah.
Because mainly because keys and synths and orchestral arrangements came before. I mean, came as root instead of guitars. So it's a little bit of a different perspective. Yeah, basically, Jacopo and Stefano provide us with their ideas and some like the timeline and the structure of the songs. Then we add our parts, but the we work a lot on drafts. So basically, the final arrangement came in a later step. So yeah, depending on the song, we could have maybe guitars, bass and drums, and then synths, or synths, keyboards, bass, drums, Hammond, and so on, and then guitars. Maybe you noticed that in Dreaming the Strike for Love, guitars are important, but in many parts they are a little bit, I mean, not so relevant as it's used to be in a metal album.
Yeah, and that's something that Jacopo mentioned, that the organs and the synths would be more prominent on this album. Uh,
Yeah.
and we can speak about that a little bit. When you guys write songs, or at least when you work on the arrangements, are you guys in the practice space together, or do you do a lot of file sharing over the computer, over the internet?
It depends
Depends.
on the
Yeah.
on the song. For most of the songs of Dreaming the Psychologue, for example, when I arrange bass, I do most of the work sharing files and at home. And I'd say it's similar with drums, except of some particular sections where we meet in a rehearsal space and we discuss everything. but I think Davide can explain this in way better than me.
Yeah, this time it was a little bit different than before, because, for example, for Hypnagogic, we shared files mostly. So it was something. It was a back and forth made in a digital way, especially, and then at the end we started we started to be together and rehearse the parts to see if everything worked in the right way, in the way we wanted. For this new album, instead, we had a quite different approach because at the very early stage, we had the usual back and forth made with digital files. But after very little time, we started to stay together, even if we were just writing with MIDI, so not really playing drums, but we started to create something together and talking to each other while, for example, I was playing my parts, and for example, we had Giulio on the other two guys telling me what, for example, were their feelings or their impression or what they wanted to communicate during a specific part, so that I could find the right drumming groove for the part itself. After this, I started a phase where I studied the songs on my own in my home studio. And after that, the guys came to my home, and they listened the drum part live, so that we could see that we could listen if everything worked this way as well, and how, for example, I played certain parts or certain groups, and we started modifying some accents, some fills to have the perfect flow from a song to another one, and I think that this time the process was very smooth, because I prefer way better to work like this by talking in real time with people, because it's very faster, and I can really understand if the way I am listening to a song, or the way I am playing the drums on a certain moments are correct, and can express what also the other guys wants to express in that specific part. So I think I'm very satisfied with the composition process of this new album.
So at the time that we're having this conversation, Bedsore will be releasing their second full length titled Dreaming the Strife for Love through 20 Buck Spin at the end of the week. Now, we spoke a little bit about some of the plans that you guys had uh, for this album to include more organ parts and more synths to make it more atmospheric. And the last time I did a Q&A with Bedsore, you guys were already in the process of arranging this album. When were you guys finished with the songs? When were you happy with the album and ready to record it?
Yes, we basically took the whole year 2023 to
Yeah.
for the songwriting and arranging, and we were satisfied enough at the beginning of 2024 to decide to enter the studio. During the recordings, of course, as I think most of the bands, we made some little tweaks, some little adjustment. But yeah, basically we had 95% of the work made done before entering the studio in April 2024, in spring, yeah, March, April.
Does Stefano handle all the keyboards and all the organs?
Yeah,
Yes,
he recorded
we
everything.
recorded everything and every synth, even organ, keyboards, mellotones, modes, and so on.
How does that work when you guys play live? Does he go back and forth between keyboards and guitars?
Uh, for Dreaming the Cycle of Love, we are planning a new kind of live setup because, of
Yeah,
course, Stefano has got only two hands,
Right.
um, and so we are planning to most likely me and Davide will do some more work. And we are eventually thinking about adding some live members to play an additional guitar because Stefano couldn't handle even guitar in the with Dreaming the Cycle Club as he did in past with Hypnagogic. And also another person who will handle atmospheric stuff and some more keys. If possible, of course, we will evaluate it according to the venues, according to the possibilities that we will have.
Where did you guys record this album? Where were the sessions done?
the
Um,
drum sessions were made at the NMG studio in Palestrina, a little town near Rome, and we spent 3 days there. He has a the studio has a very big recording room, so and a lot of let's say instrumentation. So it was very interesting to play there to find the right tone for each part of the drum. Same for the cymbals. So we had a very meticulous study of what the drums should have played during the recordings. We had some changes during the recording itself because we needed some different sounds. For example, some different snares. Uh, we had the possibility also to use some rototoms in the fields, so you can listen to not only to traditional, let's say, so rack toms, but we also put inside some passages on rototoms so that we could have a more specific sound. We added also chimes, so it has been a very good and meticulous work, and I think that you listen to a very good result drum wise. For what is about the other recordings, I think that Giulio can answer better than me because it was more present. He was more present.
yes, basically we made the guitar reamping at the NGM studio, like drums. Then we recorded at the Blind Faith studio, the Hammond, which is a real Hammond, so vintage Hammond Itri. And also Moogs and some keyboards. We recorded at Blind Faith Studios, but it was split between Blind Faith and Jacopo's place, which is called the Le Trombe degli Angeli Studios. So we basically used three different studios to match everything according to the possibilities and equipment. Because of course, as you may imagine, finding proper vintage instruments is not so easy.
So were the recording duties split between Lorenzo Sticconi and Jacopo? Did Jacopo
Uh,
handle his parts on his own and then Lorenzo handled everything else?
no, Lorenzo handled everything because he followed us in these the aforementioned studios, and he handled basically everything with the help of Jacob, of course, and with the supervision of I mean, listening to our suggestions and our impressions. But basically, Lorenzo is the main sound guy behind the mix.
Yeah. And Lorenzo is also in the band Lento. Is this your first time working with Lorenzo as an engineer?
Yes, it's the first time we choose him because when I mean, for this album, we were aware that we needed someone pretty skilled and not too much related to the metal scene. Not because we don't like metal scene, but because we knew that this work is a little bit different from a standard metal recording.
Yeah, needed
So
also a different sound.
we thought about a few names, and the one of Lorenzo has been the most, the most appreciated because of, first of all, he lives in Rome, so we can have face-to-face meetings with him. We followed the mixing process in person at his place, and he has been able to follow us in every studio we hit. And basically, we also like a lot his approach, which is a little bit different from the usual approach of metal. Even though he worked with many metal bands, but he's more into experimental and organic sound, analog stuff, and so on. We like lots of his works, like the he worked the he works because he still works with Zoo, which is an experimental trio from Rome, from Austria, which is a small seaside place nearby Rome, and with Lily Refrain, and also his personal projects are very interesting, like Chrome and many others. He's live sound guy for many famous bands like Yokomamo and others. But apart from this, the main reason why we choose Lorenzo is for his approach to the mix. He gave a lot to the mix and to the songs, and he was able to um, catch the mood and the intention behind every single section and every song and the whole album.
Davide, did you want to add anything to that about working with Lorenzo?
I worked with Lorenzo during my drum recording session, and I felt very good. He was extremely detailed telling me what he needed me to do during some specific part, maybe. Um, I found it very useful because I didn't have to think about oh my God, what does he want from me now? I don't know how to solve this problem, but this time it was very useful and very easy for me because we succeeded in having a very direct and so I think that we couldn't have done a better choice than Lorenzo for this album, even because talking about the mix, he gave a lot of importance to drums and bass in particular. So I liked it a lot, obviously, and for example, it's the first time that I'm really satisfied with the sound of the kick of how it is mixed and inserted in the songs. Um, so I'm completely satisfied with Lorenzo, and I can tell you for sure that I'll work with him again for sure.
What did he do for the kick? How did he record the kick?
I recorded it in the most natural way possible, so no triggers. And yeah, we had two microphones, obviously. One for the bass to catch the bass part of of the sound, the bass part, and another one for the attack. But the thing that I like the most is that he succeeded in having a kick that is not um, is not overlaid with a trigger, but has almost the same impact, but without losing um, the big sound make from the bass, let's say. So I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying, but he did a perfect blend from attack and punch, let's say so. So in this album, I can have a very precise kick without using a trigger. That's the thing I liked really the most because I'm trying to um, to not use triggers anymore in the most of the occasions I play live because I think that they I lose in the natural sound of my kick drum that I like a lot, and by having this sort of mix between attack and big sound, big bass sound. Um, was the perfect one for me. I really liked it, and I was totally satisfied after listening to the final mix. So I think that was really perfect. No, I didn't have anything that didn't convince me at the end of the process of the composition of the recordings and the mixing and mastering process. So I was totally satisfied with drums, and I think it's not always possible. So and it's instead quite a rare stuff. So I'm very happy with this situation, with this album, and with the collaboration with Lorenzo.
Do you want to say anything about the guests that you have on this album who contributed the saxophone and the trumpet?
Yes, Giorgio Trombino from Assumption um, and Bottomless and many other acts. He's a friend of ours since the very beginning of of Bedsore, of this project. And basically, he had a guest spot even in in our previous work. So um, we asked him to put uh, some line flute and saxophone on some parts, and he was more than happy about it. He made a great job as usual. And Giulio, the other guy, recorded some parts of trumpets because we were supposed to use the mellotron for the parts, but in the end it sounded a little bit dull and uh, not 100% satisfying. So we asked him to record, and he was so kind to do it for us.
Were these elements, the woodwinds and the horns section, to add to the cinematic feeling of the album, to make it more cinematic, meaning?
The one, the yes, the help of Giorgio is about solos. There are a couple of solos of him, while Giulio made some yeah, more orchestrations, like to make it more cinematic and more realistic, of course, because we couldn't have an orchestra at our disposal.
So, Giulio, you play a fretless bass, right?
Yes, on this album I played entirely fretless, and it's been a little bit of a challenge because it's the first album where I only play fretless. In the split, I used both fretless and fretted according to the section I was playing on. And so yeah, arranging parts for the most extreme parts like black metal stuff or black metal stuff with the fretless has been a little bit challenging. But at the same time, as Davide mentioned, we decided to go for an organic sound and natural sound on every instrument. So at the same time, the fretless matched way better than a fretted bass, this mood and this kind of idea behind the whole process.
How long did it take you to adapt to the fretless bass?
Uh, I basically played fretless even before the Dream Strike Follow.
Okay.
So it was not, I mean, not a news. I was able to do it. I just had to adapt sounds and maybe uh, some more practice to play extreme parts because I used fretless for fusion, that kind of stuff, but nothing so tricky.
Okay. Cool. Do you want to say anything about Magnus Lindberg from Cult of Luna, who mastered the album?
Yeah, Magnus, we got the information. I mean, we knew Magnus for his awesome works, and we got a hint about him from Dave from 20 Backspin. I mean, we were already in the mood to contact him for the master, but with the suggestion of Dave, we had no doubts. And he worked perfectly. He made a smooth work and a really good job in a few days, basically, because he mastered everything in the week on in a week of mid-August. So he basically got exactly the the dynamics of the album and he enhanced every instrument with more clarity, more punch, more of everything we needed. So we are completely satisfied about his work.
Great. So we spoke a little bit about what's changing on the live front with Stefano handling the keyboards full time and maybe you guys finding some more live musicians. Uh, what do you have planned for 2025 in terms of tours?
So we have a couple of tours, work in progress. We're still arranging that, and we have a couple of festival confirmed as well for this summer. So we're trying to set up a sort of um, 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 trip, let's say so, around those festivals to go around and play uh, as much as we can. And obviously, since we are moving we should be moving with an extended lineup or with modified stuff. We are still trying to find the perfect balance of the situations and let's say places where we can where to play, where we can play in the best way possible, because obviously we need more space and it is a little bit more complicated to set up everything. So um, we are, let's say so, facing new challenges about this with this new album, with this new lineup, and talking about the tour and or live shows um, on its own. So, but we are trying to, for sure, travel and play as much as we can. But still, let's say so, we can't confirm or anything. We are still working on it. So we prefer um, to maintain a low profile, let's say so, even for a scaramantic reason, so that we don't that we don't need to um, um repent of what about what we of what we said with too early, let's say so. But there will be dates, there will be tours and live shows. So I think we will have a very busy summer. We will have a good summer and good um, let's say good live months after the release of the album.
Very cool. So by the time people hear this episode or watch it on YouTube, Dreaming the Strife for Love will be out through 20 Bucks Spin. Davida and Giulio, please tell everyone how they can order the album. What's the best way to get it?
So
Yes, the album can be purchased on the 20 bucks pin Bandcamp or a 20 bucks pin website. Um, we will have some merch like t-shirt and long sleeve. We are still working on the design and on the layouts, and it will be available on our Bandcamp, so Bedsore Bandcamp, but in a later moment. And the vinyl will be available and is available in pre-order at the moment in three different variants, plus the black one, then CDs and tapes. And these all from the label 20 Backspin channels. We will have some more merch like gadgets, patches, and something else we are working on it on our Bandcamp.
So you mentioned the three variants in addition to the black vinyl, right? That 20 bucks
Yeah.
min is creating. Yeah. Do you want to say anything about the colors and maybe how many copies will be available?
Um, the copies, I think that there will be enough because usually the label press standard copies for the vinyl. So I guess if something will be sold out, it will be repressed with another variant.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
um, we have no limited quantities. I mean, and about the colors, we have three different colors, all matching with the cover art. They are brown, so-called Halloween, orange, golden egg, beer, and that stuff that perfectly matches the artwork, and also the layout colors. So it's a really good gadget, other than a good listen, I hope.
Now, because of uh, the 70s prog and cinematic influences that you guys have, would you recommend that people listen to this on the vinyl, or does it matter to you?
Uh, yes, but I mean, we made a different master for every format, so I think they can enjoy our music in every format in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And if people want to follow Bedsore online and get updates on the tours that you mentioned, without you guys having to repent, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, we have our official channels that are Facebook, Bedsore, and the Instagram page is Bedsore, that's the nickname, and the page, of course, is named Bedsore, where we will update everyone, every fan about our future commitments, and also we will post um, updates and news and everything related to the new album and to the band, and also some like live pics, reports, reviews, and
Yeah.
everything related to the band.
Yeah, will be for sure very active. We are a lot. We are publishing a lot of stuff before the the publication of the album, but after that date, that day, we will be even more active by announcing stuff and publicating each, for example, each everything we got in the merch and everything you can buy, purchase, or listen to. Uh, whatever you can think of, we will be publishing on Instagram or Facebook, whatever. You will be up to dated about everything.
Very cool. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
Um,
We would like to thank you for this
yes,
opportunity.
thanks for having us.
Yeah, a lot. Uh, it has been a very good speech, very good talk with you. Thank you for giving us this time and this space. and I hope you had fun as well with talking to us and listening how we prepared and how we wanted um, to make how we want the people listen to this new album from Bedsore. So I hope it was a good morning, let's say so.
Very cool. Grazie.
Thank you. Thank you.